Welcome back to the Manor, Entropians. Julian McBain here, and as you can see, we are back on Cyrene. And I'm going to explain why I'm here before that migration is over. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going over to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you become a Manor Socialite, which is a member, then you will receive a copy of the Modern Entropian and a copy of Personal Finance for Gamers, and I really appreciate the support. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be hunting these duster workers. I do have questions on how dire plants survive on the ice. Just saying. But those are questions that can come later. So here's what happened with migration. As I was planning on finishing up my migration, I had less than 10,000 points left, and then Mind Arc pulled almost all of the spawns. And all that's left are like level 32 and level 35 spawns. And so that kind of ended migration for me, which is unfortunate. I really hope to be able to finish. It means I'm not going to be able to finish that iron mission. That's really frustrating, but things like that happen. So you just kind of accept them and move on. But it does mean I'm here on Cyrene again a little bit early, which I'm not going to argue with. What I do have to say is, wow, what happened? While I was gone, I kind of tuned out of things that were happening on planets I wasn't on. I really should pay better attention as a content creator, but I didn't. The landform of Cyrene has changed drastically. And along with it, all the spawn points, like the Menshen spawn in the high desert has moved. It's not moved very far, but it's moved. My favorite island hunting spot, where all those Panleon are, gone. Just gone. There are Panleon in the area where the island used to be, but they're way high level for me. They're like level 67, and I don't have the chops to be fighting them. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. So, instead, today I'm here hunting dusters. The Panleons of my level, the level 16s, are still in their place in the jungle. I will be hunting them. We're going to be exploring around and determining what else we can reasonably hunt on this planet, which, I mean, the mobs themselves haven't changed, but where you can find them has. For instance, the dire weeds that are just over here weren't there the last time we were here. So no, we're going to be here for a while. I will be here for at least a month. I might spend the rest of the year here. I haven't decided. I have not given Cyrene enough of my time. And that's why I missed out on things like entire landform changes. And I found that like when I was on Monria for 3 months, I found all kinds of cool things about the place. You know, because I mean, let's take Monria as an example. Monria is a moon. It has a very simplified mob structure. There's only a handful of different mob types. Cyrene, of course, has a much broader spectrum of mobs on about the same amount of land area. Actually, no, they've got more land area per se, but their map is approximately the same size. But on Monria, you're stuck in craters and caves, whereas here you have a whole bunch of overland. I also forgot how the mobs can be more, they wander more. So there's that as well. But no, I'm looking forward to a good time here on Cyrene. And we're going to find out just how much of this planet's changed. Now, I have done some exploring. All of this up here, there's no mobs. It's all mining. And I actually looked up the version update, and it happened shortly after I left Cyrene last year, that there was a huge map update. All of the landforms have changes. There's lakes where there weren't lakes. There are islands where there was water. So I think there's going to be, ew, we got flesh. Like, yeah, just flesh. That's lovely. Creature meat from any of the creatures. Oh, okay, it's supposed to be. Yeah, but this is humanoid. I don't want to be eating duster. Sheesh. Hopefully my cost isn't going to be higher than what I'm spending. Yeah, that was smart. Hopefully my cost isn't going to be higher than my loot. Readjusting for the loot tables here is going to take some time, and I know there's been some fine-tuning to it. So getting used to that's going to take a little bit of time. Hopefully it's still as... Cyrene used to Cyrene has historically had a very good loot table. In fact, one that made it almost as good as Monria when it came to loot. Because as we all know, Monria has 0 tax. But it's been a year. There have been significant changes to the planet. So I'm curious to see what they've done with the place. And one of those things that I'm curious about is how loot is now. Because that can make or break a planet, is understanding, you know, how good the loot is. And some of the things that I think I need to try are, I need to pull out a mining device and actually try mining. That's something I have not done. I actually haven't mined, I think, in over a year. Which should tell you a lot. But because there's so many, the mining areas are dedicated mining areas. I mean, you can mine anywhere, of course, but you've got dedicated mining areas where there are no mobs. You're not going to run into mobs, no big deal. I think it's going to be worth my time to give it a shot and like just run around these islands which have materials that can be used anywhere. These are all platform ores and end matters. Over here is supposed to be more Cyrene specific. So I think there's a lot to be seen. There's a lot to find. And I'm looking forward to it. So, a couple of things I did notice on the negative side upon my return to Cyrene. With the graphics update, the draw distance issues on Cyrene are a lot more visible. Like, the last time I was here, it was before the graphics and the whole update. And, at least I think it was. But, like, you can tell that the pixelation here is just extremely noticeable. Here's another example. And I know it's something they're working on. This place gets developed like every other planet, a step at a time. But after coming from Calypso, I do have to say it's rather jarring. And I'm not meaning that to throw shade at the Cyrene team or anything like that. No, they're one of the best communities out here. But it is what it is, you know? Just because you like the team and you like the gameplay and you like the planet doesn't mean it doesn't have its issues. And the draw distance on this planet is, well, it's only a couple hundred meters. It might not even be that. Because even here on the ice, the last time I was here, it was bright all the way around. And now, within a small circle, you can tell where the draw distance is because that's where the light darkens. See? And I don't know if that's deliberate or not. I don't think it is. Or maybe it is. Maybe it's the way the shadows fall, but I don't remember it being like that, and I dare say it wasn't like that. I can almost guarantee it wasn't like that during the day. And now you come out here and it's automatically like that. And I don't know if that's by accident or by design. My hope is that it's something that they're working on, and maybe they're limiting the draw distance to deal with some server issues, because I did notice some server hangups. And I'm willing to accept that for stability. Like, if their engineering team is working on it and they're continuing to progress on it, but they need to accept some degraded visual experience to make sure that the server stays stable, you know what? I'm okay with that. Sometimes you've got to make that compromise. But yeah, no. You know, so far, even though my favorite hunting spot disappeared, my poor little island, and there are no dusters. Oh, there are no dusters on Rookie Island anymore. I can't find them at all. None. Because there used to be some, like, right in here. Gone. More Panleons. More low-level Panleons, which, you know, I'm not upset about, per se, but it was nice to be able to hunt low-level dusters for hours on end. So now I'll just hunt low-level Panleons. One thing I did notice is, and I didn't think of it, is the number of tameable creatures here I had forgotten about. So all the Panleons here are tameable. I think that's always been like that. But the Menshen up here, the Punies are tameable. I had forgotten about that. And I think I ran into another mob over here-ish that was also tameable. I'm like, geez, I completely forgot about the Cyrene pets. I could totally use some Cyrene pets. Come over here, dude. I'm throwing fireballs at you. So, you know, maybe these are all things that I need to think about. And I don't know, like, I know I've been over here, but I don't remember being over there, if that makes any sense. So, we need to give this planet a good rundown. There's a couple of other epic mission chains I kind of want to get into. And I think I might dive into one of those. Yeah, because you can see the lake here. That lake wasn't there the last time, if I remember correctly. It might have been. I don't recall the lake being there. It was frozen over, so I thought. So. No, the loot still seems to be pretty decent. Shrap's pretty standard. Animal eye oil. Components. Paint. Animal muscle residue. Yeah. Everything seems to be so far so standard. Now the real trouble is trying to get those materials back to Calypso, because you still have to deal, thankfully with the increased space, if you're going to try to sell them for markup, which some of these have better markup than others, like this doesn't have any markup at all. This is animal hide. Currently has no markup because it's all being pulled off Longtooth. Animal eye oil I think still has, it's 101. So not a lot of markup to be had. Honestly, if it's below a certain point, it's not even worth selling on auction because of the fees. And I know everyone has like or a lot of players have a limit where it's like, okay, if it's below a certain amount, I'm just going to TT it. For me, it's basically, if it's below 102, all of the profits eaten up by fees. It's not worth the 5 peck I'm going to earn off of it to wait for the money. I know it does throw off the loot tables and stuff like that. That's not my favorite thing to do, but without markup, there's no point. You're just wasting money. Because this game, like in real life, time is money. I can be using that ped to increase my skills. Oh, and I was smart. I did come with supplies. So I brought an extra LB35. What did I do? There it is. I also have this SB20 that I had left over. I'm going to be going through that. I've got this Quell, that I looted off of a Longtooth. I've got this pistol that I also looted off of a Longtooth that I will be using to help grind up my skills while I'm here. I picked up a new level 5 combustive attack nano chip. And I have my level 6 electro attack nano chip. Because I'm working my way toward being a Mind Force wizard. So, all of this is good. I don't think I'll ever be good as Delusionist or Bonnie when it comes to Mind Force. Or I could be if I abandon my swords. But, swords. Who wants to abandon swords? What kind of a fencing instructor would I be if I didn't use swords? Oh yeah. I'd have to say the loot table is definitely right where we left it. Which makes me happy. It truly does. Because that was one of the best parts of Cyrene, for all of its faults, of which there are a few. Cyrene is one of the most loot-friendly places. It's loot-friendly, it's community-friendly. The community here is awesome, it's very mature. Well, Entropia Universe's community is very mature for a number of reasons, but on top of Entropia Universe as a whole, there's a mature community here on Cyrene. It's small. It's definitely smaller than Calypso or Monria. Currently, it's smaller than Next Island because everyone's overdoing Ancient Greece. But, and no, I'm not bitching about Ancient Greece. It's just like, I'm gonna let that kind of cool down a little bit. But no, we're gonna, but it does have a nice community. If you go to the Cyrene forums, there's a good community there, and the developers are very responsive. They definitely took a page out of DME's book, because DME used to work for, DME is the community organizer for Monria, Toulon now. I think it's Virtual Sense is the name of the company. But she used to be I think she did the same thing for Planet Cyrene. I know she worked for Planet Cyrene. I think she used to do the same thing for Planet Cyrene. And Chris, the current person who does it, took it and ran with it, and he's doing a great job. And I'm not just saying that because one of them might watch my videos and catch me. I mean that. No, I don't think Chris watches my channel, but I know DME does from time to time. She definitely did when I was on Monria. Which I just think is awesome engagement from a developer when you watch content creators. And I say that not to toot my own horn and look at me, the developers are watching my channel. No. The developers are going through the trouble of watching creators' channels. That's the point. The point isn't that it's me, it's that they're taking the time to watch the channels. And that like blew me away. It's like you're actually paying attention to your content creators. You're listening to what they have to say. Like, you're really listening to what they have to say. And that is amazing. Because find me another developer, group of developers for an active game that listen to the community as well as Entropia Universe platform developers. That's okay, I'll wait. You can drop a comment down below. You'd be hard pressed to find them. There are a couple of up-and-coming games that have really good development teams. The obvious one is Virtueverse, which has an outstanding team. But honestly, that's all I can think of. Oh, I used to think that Blizzard was very responsive, and then the last few years, they've just been not.
And I don't know if it's because they merged with Activision. I don't know if it's because some new creative director. I know that the original CEO of Blizzard finally retired, and I don't mean that to be derogative. I mean, he definitely earned it. But without his creative direction, I have to wonder if part of it just kind of got I hate the phrase, but corporatized. You know, what can we do to like just up the ante? But in doing so, they sacrificed a lot, which is really disappointing. Because there's a lot to be said for developers that listen to their communities and pay attention. And the developers here most certainly do. I do have to admit, kind of back on an older topic. Coming back, I got back and I popped open my storage and I'm like, oh, I forgot I had those. That's what I get for leaving for a year. No, I think we're doing quite all right. What's really going to kill it or make it work is the amp. Because we're going through a bit of amp, but it's to be expected. It's going to be how much of the amp are we going through compared to how much ped we're getting in loot. And I think we're doing okay. I think we're still coming out on top. Another place I'm going to be hunting, I don't know if it'll be tonight, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and I have not started recording that. I'm actually probably going to start a game over once my new mic comes in, but I mean, you can hear me. I'm on my Razer headset mic because my beloved Yeti, it broke. Something happened to one of them, to the microphone. The gain got all screwed up. I couldn't turn it down anymore. It got really bad. So I had to replace it, and it had to be ordered because with all of the kids a lot of the kids taking school remotely this year, every microphone got just wiped the fuck out, like completely wiped out. So it's on order. It shipped today though, so it is coming in. I won't have it for Tuesday's live stream. Oh, you're watching this on Wednesday. I know for a fact I didn't have it for Tuesday's live stream, but I'm hoping to have it by Friday's live stream. Probably should have mentioned at the beginning of the video so you all understood when my audio is all fucked, but that's okay. Those of you who have been paying attention to like the last week or two already know that my audio has been kind of crappy, and now you know why. But that's being taken care of because audio quality is as important as anything else. Because if you can't listen to if the audio is bad, you're not going to listen to a person. Which I certainly noticed. Okay. I think we're going to take this guy out, and then we're going to make a beeline for the teleporter. Oi! Look at that sky. I think this is high noon. Oh, hey. Oh, no, it didn't get any brighter. I thought it did. It's because we looked straight at the sun, and it brightens up. We come down, And then everything is dark again. Damn it. We're going to kind of back off here. But we're going to go over here for a second. I have questions. Like, what is going on here? Why are there weeds? Okay, to be fair, they can run around, but still, there are plants on the ice. What? I find it funny. That's all. That's it. I find it funny. But to key in on the draw distance, you can really tell with this one where the draw distance is moving. And as things move out of the circle, lose sight of them. Ah, yes, Tide Claws. Because I definitely want to be hunting those bastards again. You've got as much health as a Longtooth. They're half as likable. But no, I don't remember this lake being here. And maybe it was. Maybe I'm just remembering wrong, but I don't remember this lake being here. I'm probably going to get half a dozen comments. It's always been there, Julian. Stop being a dope. Okay. Oh, and there was something else. It hasn't despawned, I wonder. And now it's gone. So maybe it's just that zone there. Unless I'm too high. Oh, I was too high. Whoa. Those are new. But then you've got this guy. And he's so big, he spawns before you hit draw distance. Look at this. And we fought some of these, so there was a, fly to Titans of Space sponsored like a fly from planet to planet thing. And this is one of the things that the Cyrene devs spawned here on Cyrene up at the lab. Look at this thing. It's enormous. Looks like it should have come out of Voltron too. For the record, if that thing were to sneeze, it would kill me. As I'm sure you can all appreciate. Are there still Tide Claws over here? I'm just curious now. And then we'll head back to the teleporter. Well, there's the winged beasts over there. Certainly did not miss the clicking of their wings. Oh no, they're over here. The youngs, the matures. God, that was such a grind. Such a grind. Okay, so we're about to come in for a landing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, Red Kryptonite, Spectrum 3900, Game Citizen, and Jason Lambertson. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank all of you for all of your support, and we will see you in the next one.